If you're moving through anticipatory grief with your animal companion, you're probably noticing the changes. The gray hairs coming in on their muzzle, the stiffness and how they move, the slowing down, and all the little modifications that you're making to support them. And maybe you're noticing the twinges of sadness along with all of that. But here's what I want to talk to you about today, the thing that so many people are not prepared for: anger, or frustration, or irritability, the emotional exhaustion. We're feeling emotionally reactive in ways that just don't feel like you. This is your body waking up to the reality of the situation. But because of that, so many people start judging and shaming themselves during an already incredibly hard and tender time that is so common in anticipatory grief and caregiving. They're actually signs that your body and nervous system are carrying too much and that they're overwhelmed. And here's what's really happening. It's the invisible weight. When you're caring for an aging, ill, or declining animal, you're living inside a silent, invisible, chronic stress. It creeps in gradually, so gradually that you don't even realize how much it's actually added up until it's just too much. You think about everything you've been carrying. You're watching their symptoms, monitoring their behavior changes, anticipating their impending loss. How can you not think about that? You also try to shove it away sometimes and not look at it. And you're trying to make the right and best decisions. You're managing medications and appointments. And all of this you're navigating with uncertainty. You're starting to become sleep deprived from worry or from their restlessness in the middle of the night. You're feeling emotionally overwhelmed and trying to put on a brave face and keep functioning through it all while still managing everything else that's going on in your life. Your nervous system rarely gets a chance to catch a breath, let alone actually settle. And because anticipatory grief isn't really recognized socially the way grief after a loss is, so many people are carrying this silently and alone. So what happens? Anticipatory grief and an overloaded nervous system start coming out sideways, not as tears, but as irritability, impatience, anger, resentment, shutdown, emotional numbness, or just feeling constantly on edge. Some signs of nervous system overwhelm during anticipatory grief can look like feeling irritated by all the small things, having a shorter emotional threshold, snapping at loved ones, or even veterinary staff, or even your own animal, feeling frustrated with the caregiving demands, wanting people to just stop giving advice, difficulty concentrating, overthinking constantly, feeling emotionally raw, becoming hypervigilant to every symptom, every behavior change, or feeling physically exhausted while your mind just won't rest. And sometimes people even feel frustration towards their animal and then immediately feel guilt and shame right afterward. All of this is normal. This is compassion fatigue meeting anticipatory grief. You've never faced this before in this relationship with your animal. This is hard and it's messy. This is so important to understand with compassion, that anger and frustration is not about your animal. You're not doing anything wrong. It's about feeling exhausted, overloaded, and even helpless in a situation you cannot change. Fear, emotional exhaustion, and uncertainty of what lies ahead. Watching your animal in pain or discomfort, trying to hold and manage everything yourself. Your nervous system can only carry so much stress for so long before it starts signaling distress. And that's exactly what this is. It's a way of getting you to notice that now you too need care and attention. Many people move between different nervous system states during this time. Sometimes it's fight energy, irritability, anger, control, urgency, needing things to be done a certain way. Sometimes it's flight, constantly researching, overthinking, anxiety, never being able to mentally stop. Sometimes it's freeze or collapse, which is a numbness, a disconnection, a fatigue, shutting down emotionally, or feeling unable to make any decision at all. And here's the thing, you can move through all of these in the same single day. One moment you feel deeply connected and tender, and the next overwhelmed and reactive, then guilty for being overwhelmed. This never makes you a bad caregiver. It makes you human. A human who loves their animal to the earth's end and back, who's experiencing a lot of emotions, and who is doing their best in a genuinely difficult time. Overwhelm and all of your emotions do not erase the love in your heart underneath it all. That love is always there. Here's another thing I see so often. People believing that they should feel calm, patient, compassionate, spiritually grounded during their animal's end-of-life journey. That's a myth. It's not possible. That's not what being human looks like. A regulated nervous system isn't one that only feels the good emotions. It's the one where you're present with whatever comes up and you give it space to be acknowledged. Stuffing everything down and trying to appear calm and stoic, that's actually not the same as being calm. Anticipatory grief is complex, and you can feel love and resentment, gratitude and dread, love and fear, presence and panic, all at the same time. Human nervous systems were never meant to hold prolonged uncertainty, especially not when love and loss are both involved. And often, what you need most in this season of your relationship isn't more pressure to do this perfectly. You need more support, more gentleness, more nervous system awareness, more emotional permission to just be with what you feel, and more moments where you stop judging your reactions and your decisions and instead accept what's coming up as information. Because now that you notice this and you know this, that information of all of a sudden being short or irritable, but that's also your sign, I need to do something to support myself. Because sometimes the most supportive thing you can do is simply pause. Pause long enough to notice, oh, I'm overwhelmed. My body is carrying a lot. This is hard. I'm grieving while I'm caregiving. That awareness alone can stop softening the pressure and letting go of the shame and guilt underneath it. When you can understand these responses through the lens of anticipatory grief and nervous system overwhelm, instead of judging yourself, instead of thinking you're doing something wrong, there's so much more room for compassion and grace towards yourself. And that self-compassion matters because your overwhelmed nervous system deserves support and nurturing too, especially in these highly charged, sensitive moments as you walk beside your beloved animal through one of the hardest chapters of your relationship with them. If this resonated with you and you'd like more supportive content like this, please subscribe. Take a look at the resources in the description below and simply take what feels supportive to you right now and leave the rest. And wherever you are in your journey with your animal today, I hope you remember you don't have to carry this alone. Your animal is emotionally supporting and preparing you just as much as you are caring for them. And remember, you are on this journey together with them.